All right, today we're going to dive into a concept that might just change the way you work, the way you live, really. It's called the dopamine detox, and it's all based on the book by Thibaut Meurisse. It's this powerful strategy for taking back your focus in a world that, let's be honest, is designed to steal it. Let's get right into it. So, let me start with a question that probably hits a little close to home for a lot of us. Do you ever find yourself putting off those big, important tasks? You know exactly what you should be doing, but somehow the day just evaporates.
If that sounds even a little bit familiar, you are definitely not alone. The book talks about these really common feelings, right? That sense of being restless, not being able to just sit and focus, or struggling to get excited about the goals you set for yourself, and that nagging feeling that you're just not living up to your potential. It's this frustrating cycle that can really chip away at your self-esteem over time.
Okay, so what is actually going on here? To figure out the solution, we've got to get to the root of the problem. Let's take a look at why it has become so unbelievably hard to just focus. And this brings us to a huge misconception about dopamine. We always hear it called the pleasure chemical, but that's not really accurate. The book calls it the molecule of more. See, it's the thing that drives our anticipation of a reward. It's what gives us the desire to get up and take action. Think of it as the go get it chemical, not the yay I got it chemical. That's a key difference. So how does this whole system get hijacked? Well, modern technology is literally engineered to tap into this anticipation loop. Every single notification, every one of those customized YouTube suggestions that feels like it's reading your mind, the random unpredictability of what might be in your email, it's all designed to give you a tiny little hit of dopamine that keeps you coming back for more and more and more. And here's the result of all that, a state of constant overstimulation. Our brains get totally accustomed to this fire hose of easy, new, exciting rewards. So what happens? Suddenly, those important long-term tasks like, writing a big report or studying for an exam, they just seem painfully dull and unappealing by comparison. The book uses this fantastic analogy, open versus closed systems. Your social media feed, that's an open system. It's a bottomless pit of stimulation that never, ever ends. But a blank Word document for that report, that's a closed system. It's finite. It has a clear goal. The huge problem is we spend so much of our time in these open systems that we drain our mental batteries, leaving us with nothing left for the closed systems where the real work actually happens. And the long-term impact of this is pretty serious. This constant feedback loop literally trains our brains to want instant gratification, which makes it so much harder to think long-term. It completely distorts our idea of success, making us think everything should be fast and easy, which we know it's not. And all of this leads directly to frustration, disappointment, and a serious drop in self-esteem. Okay, so that's the problem. And yeah, it might sound a little bleak, but here is the good news. There is a straightforward solution. It's called the dopamine detox. So what is it exactly? Well, a dopamine detox is simply the intentional reduction of all that external stimulation. The goal isn't to get rid of dopamine. That's impossible, and you wouldn't want to anyway. The real goal is to lower your baseline, to turn down the volume so that those important, normal, everyday tasks can start to feel engaging and interesting again. Now, the book outlines 3 different ways you can approach this, which is great. You've got the full 48-hour reset. There's also a shorter, 24-hour version, which is a bit easier. Or you can do a partial detox, where you just focus on eliminating your single biggest distraction. You can choose whichever one fits your life and what you need right now. All right, let's get practical. How do you actually do a dopamine detox? The book breaks it down into a really simple 3-step plan. First, you gotta identify your biggest time wasters by making a simple cans and can'ts list. Second, you add what the author calls friction. You just make it harder to do the things you don't want to do. And third, you create a calm, low-stimulation morning routine to start your day on your own terms before the digital world has a chance to hijack it. So what does adding friction actually look like? Well, it's all about making simple but really powerful changes. Don't just silence your phone. Turn it completely off and put it in another room. Use a browser extension to block those distracting websites. The author even talks about moving his internet modem into a storage closet just to make getting online a bit of a hassle. The more effort a distraction takes, the less power it has over you. It's that simple. And for that all-important morning routine, the key is to choose activities that calm your mind, not overstimulate it. We're talking about things like meditating, doing a few stretches, or just quietly writing down your goals for the day. This sets a calm, focused tone before all the chaos of the day begins. So completing a detox is an amazing reset, but let's be real. The true challenge is making that newfound focus actually last. What happens after the 24 or 48 hours are up? This quote from a Harvard study really drives home why this is so important. It says that long-time perspective is one of the biggest determinants of success. Well, that's exactly what a dopamine detox helps you train. It's a tool to reclaim your ability to think beyond the next 5 minutes in a world that is constantly screaming for your immediate attention. The best way to maintain this focus is to proactively fill your life with what the book calls here and now activities. These are things that ground you in the present moment, like meditation, going for a mindful walk, or even just practicing being bored. Seriously, just sitting there and doing nothing without reaching for a device. It's like a superpower for your focus muscle. So we'll end on this powerful question from the book. Ultimately, your focus is your most valuable asset. You can either build systems to protect it and direct it towards your goals, or you can let it be captured and sold to the highest bidder. The choice really is yours.